Albert win. AC, talk to me about Memphis. The Memphis Grizzlies. Listen to me, man. This guy, John Morant. We talked about it coming in. I don't think this dude was ever going to lose a step coming in. He was locked and loaded, ready to go from the jump. He's been with the team. He's been traveling. He's been doing his thing. He was a force in that first game back. Is that part of the cap here, AC?
It is actually not part of the cap. Like, I know John Morant's a great player. He made an amazing game winner to get that win on the road in New Orleans against a really good Pelicans team. But this is a combination of Memphis, but also the Pacers. They are going to be on the second night of a back-to-back. They're going to have to be traveling into Memphis. Prior to this year, Memphis had one of the best home court advantages in the NBA. It's always been like Memphis, Denver, right? But this year, Jay, Sean, this year they're 1-11 in Memphis playing at home, and that's terrible. Even without John Morant, that's a terrible record. But in the past, when they're playing really well, it's because of their transition game. They would get out on the break and just overwhelm you with transition offense, layups, threes, dunks, things like that. I think John Morant, this is his home debut for this season. I think he's going to get out there, get it really up and down, which is what the Pacers are going to do anyways. And I think that's going to go and fall right into the hands of Memphis because, again, Pacers potentially tired legs, potentially fatigued. And then also, I think this is a regression spot for John Morant. I'm not a big player props guy, but I think this is a potential regression spot. And look for Desmond Bane now with his running mate, running the show. Desmond Bane now is going to get a ton of wide open threes. Look for him to start getting hot now. So
Even
I like the
against
Memphis
the Pacers,
Grizzlies. There's
on the player
even
prop
against the
side,
Pacers, man. Yeah.
that makes me nervous, man. Everybody putting up career highs on the Pacers every single night. That is the only thing that makes me nervous about the player prop side. But the player prop side is such a finicky market anyway.
Yeah, the total's at 247.5, right? You can only look at the over in this game. It is the highest total for the entire slate in the NBA on Thursday night. But I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to do Memphis. I'm not even going to touch the full game. I just think they come out and, put the energy out there with the fans and win that first half. Remember, they did lose that first half against New Orleans, even though they won the game. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice bounce back spot in terms of the first half perspective.
Jay, thoughts on the first half Memphis play?
Yeah, that was a good point. We kind of saw John Morant kind of get gas late in that game, but I mean, they still came back from down 24 points and they showed something there. So the vibes are back in Memphis, man. I'll tell you that right now. And I think I like the way AC's doing because he's going with the first half. If Ja's getting tired and he's not back into full game shape, which we know that he's not, that full game, especially going up against the Pacers, even though they're the team on the back-to-back, this is a young and running gunning team, right? So they're not going to really have tired legs like that. Even though it is a road, it's a road back-to-back, they got to travel, but they could still possibly run damn near John Morant off the floor, but I just know I'm not looking towards fading Grizzlies right now. They started out the season so bad. The vibes are back. I mean, and how storyline was that, man, for him to hit the game-winning shot his first game back. I was watching that game. That was just absolutely crazy, man, but I'm happy for him. Hopefully he can stay out of trouble and we can see Grind City get back to it, but they got a big hill to climb. I definitely can't talk you off Grizzlies first half in this spot.
Yeah, for them to get into the playoffs, it looks like they're going to have to start winning here at like a 56, 57 win pace the rest of the year. Is John Morant built and ready for that? We will find out. But, yeah, he was locked in coming down the stretch. He didn't want the timeout. Taylor Jenkins called the timeout. He was about that. He wanted to get it off the rim and go right down and do exactly what he ended up doing. And it was storybook for John Morant to finish in front of his pops and his best friend sitting right next to each other. He yelled, "I'm back," right in front of their face. It was a dope moment to see John Morant back on the floor because you want the superstars in the NBA back on the floor. At one point, that game got up to Memphis Live was plus 1,600 was the highest I saw. They came out and came back and cashed that ticket. So shout out the Memphis Grizzlies. Shout out John Morant. I'm excited to see what that ends up shaking because my initial thought, just like I'm sure a lot of other people were, oh, I got to take this over. 245.5 like that. This is going to be a track meet, but Josh still does have to get in shape. And I'm interested to see, he hasn't seen this team the Indiana Pacers yet. And teams that play them,
Mm-hmm.
at least on the initial side, it is a very interesting adjustment for those guys.